They rebuild. It's been an ongoing project for Philadelphia. Thursday night was the fourth time the 76ers have picked first overall. First time 1973 when they took Doug Collins from Illinois State. In 1996, the answer was clearly Allen Iverson, who won 4 scoring titles on his way to the Hall of Fame. 20 years later, Ben Simmons came to Philly with the top overall pick, but has yet to play his first NBA game. And a year later, the Celtics accommodated Philly with a trade that allowed them to make it the Fultz overall pick. Friday, President Brian Colangelo explained why he was sure Markelle is the man for his team.
To my right, Markelle Fultz, the #1 pick in the NBA draft last night. Thrilled to have the opportunity to pick and select him at #1. Considerable commitment on our part to move up to #1 to make that happen, but felt it was completely worth the investment and the opportunity that presented itself.
This is truly an honor to come here. I mean, I've been through a lot growing up, and I'm just looking forward to coming to the city and giving it my all. So seeing myself in the future, my goal is to be the best I ever play. So, I mean, that's my goal, just working hard every day to become that, and just taking that, wherever that takes me, that's my goal.
We've got pieces that look like and feel like they are going to fit together and be the basis of that championship DNA, if you will, for a club. So we're going to build it, we're going to grow it, we're going to continue to do the right things, make the right decisions, and work our tails off to make sure it happens.
I want to get your macro view on the process here in a moment, but let's start with the player. Markelle Fultz, a big frame, 6'4", only Division I player to average 25 and 5. Why does Fultz fit the profile of the top overall pick?
Well, they need scoring, and they need balance. When you look at Ben Simmons, you don't know what he's going to be. Right now, you know he's talented. He plays different positions. Then you look at Joel Embiid. He's more of a low-post guy. He can step out and shoot the long ball like all bigs can now. But again, his areas in the paint. When you look at this young man, pick and roll. When you start talking about the potential of putting pick and roll, putting this young man in pick and roll with his ability to come off the screen, get a shot, and attack the basket. That's the thing people don't understand. He's a really good shooter who's going to get better, but his strength is he's big, he's able to get into the paint, and Brendan knows this. Anytime you have a guard that puts pressure on the opposing team in a pick and roll situation and make the team commit 3 guys, it opens up everything for everyone else. And now you look at Simmons, a ball handler, and you look at Fultz, a guy that can handle the ball and make plays. They got 2 guys now who can make plays for themselves and their teammates.
I just love the fact that when you're dealing with a guy like Markelle Fultz, you have a guy that he can score with the ball in his hands in the pick and roll like Sam just alluded to, but at the same time, if Simmons has the ball and Embiid has the ball, he's still a threat. There's a lot of guys that when they don't have the ball in their hands, teams start to ignore them because they don't have NBA range yet. That's not this kid. He comes in ready with the frame. He comes in ready with the game. At the end of the day, he can get it done at all angles of the court as far as pick and roll, mid-range game. He can post up. He has great spin moves. Sometimes he gets a little loose with the ball. When he does those spin moves, can become a little turnover prone. But my only thing I'm worried about Markelle Fultz early on will be keep your turnovers down and don't coast. Sometimes like the game comes too easy for him because he's so good. It seems like he's just coasting out there. Go full throttle. Let your full talents be on display. I think he'll do that. I think Philly got their guy, and they got the right guy for this team.
He'll have the ball in his hands a lot, but he projects as a combo guard because of his size and because of the fact that he can shoot the basketball. And he joins this young core, part of the process as things stand. Look at the ages. Take note of the games played so far, including 0 for last year's #1 overall pick, Ben Simmons, and just 31 so far for Joel Embiid. Slow it down a little bit.
Absolutely.
You got a ways to go before the process reaches fruition. Give me a timeline on when this team comes together to a point where you say, okay, this is something.
I think in the NBA, it takes a while. You have to take your lumps. You have to learn how to win. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to learn how to be a professional. You have to learn how to take care of your body. And all these guys are going through it for the first time. When you look at guys like Fultz and Simmons, when you look at guys like Fultz and Simmons. So I think it'll take this team about 2 to 3 years to be, I say, contending for the playoffs, and that's the type of situation.
I say 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Absolutely.
Markelle Fultz, #1 overall pick, 3 years removed from playing on the JV team in his high school. Remarkable. Let's take a look at how numero uno's night at the draft played out.
Of course, moms know how to dress, so that's pretty much how that goes. So for the shoes is all me. Inside the shoe, just a lot of memories. F2G is faithful to the grind. It just shows that you are dedicated and working hard and doing whatever you got to do to get to where you got to go.
Markelle Fultz, how you feeling about tonight?
I'm happy, man. It's truly a blessing. Now that I'm here, it feels unreal. Oh yeah, we definitely got to take pictures with him. Sheesh. NBA draft, all my dreams coming true tonight, hopefully, and I'm just blessed to be here.
The first pick in the 2017 NBA draft belongs to the Philadelphia 76ers.
The Sixers have made their selection. It is a frenzy in the city of Philadelphia.
Well, it's him.
With the first pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz from the University of Washington.
Last night, I was just sitting down, just thinking about hearing my name called, and it was unreal. It's been unbelievable, man. It was a dream come true, really. I mean, I've been dreaming about this moment all my life, so I'm just happy right now. Yeah, this is dope, man. Crazy, bro.
You work hard.
Yeah.
I wonder what you do for fun.
Yeah. Fun is in the gym. That's my fun time. That's what makes me happy. Markelle Fultz here. Finally went through the draft, fulfilled my dream, got the #1 pick. Philly, I'll see you soon.
What a night for Markelle Fultz, and for more on the development, I'm going to say, not that other word, in Philadelphia, let's send it over to Kristen and see.
What is that other word?
Say it.
Process, yes. A young man whose own process began, as Matt said, 3 years ago on a JV basketball team after being cut from his own varsity team. What is it that he brings to this franchise, and why was it so important for the Sixers to trade up to get him at #1?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's the ability to take this young guy and mold him with these others. If we knew, what Embiid was fully right now or what Ben Simmons was, maybe you make a different decision. But the idea that these guys are all going to be growing together, I think, allows the Sixers a really great opportunity to figure it out on the fly with them without any real pressure to be great right now, and figure out how these pieces fit together and what has to change between now and the next 2-3 year span when they become a real playoff contender.
Well, Brian Colangelo told me on draft night in Philadelphia that Markelle was the ideal candidate for this franchise. Are we looking at the completion of the process in this step? They've trusted it. Are we looking at the completion here?
I don't think so, because people forget Nerlens Noel was not in that graphic. That's another piece of the process that had to be traded away in order to make this move along. And I think there are going to be other players, veterans more likely than not, that you have to figure out what vets that are on someone else's bench or in someone else's rotation around the league fit with this group. Who makes this young group better? Who's their Andre Iguodala maybe? The player you bring in a couple years ahead of the process really taking off and helping this group grow and become the kind of team you want them to be.
Well, later in our show, our Hall of Famer is going to sit down with this young man, Markelle Fultz. But first, when we come back, the Lakers may or may not win, but one thing is for sure, they're going to have a ball. You get it? Markelle Fultz is just 19, but we're looking at the last 25 years. He ranks among the best in scorers during their freshman season. Michael Beasley having led the way, followed by Kevin Durant, Fultz ranking 3rd, then Carmelo Anthony. Before he stepped into the spotlight as the Sixers' top selection in the draft, Markelle sat down with our Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas, one who's no stranger to the position or to the expectations ahead.
With the first pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz from the University of Washington.
You got a lot of young, talented teammates that you're getting ready to play with, a lot of them that you already know and have played with before. Tell me what your expectations are of the 76ers and the process.
I think it'll be a great fit, really. Just the young core who remind me of college a little bit. Just being young, really, you can spend time with them guys, just hanging out with them, and then the talent level there. I think I can fit that last piece in of the process, and just doing whatever I have to do to make the team better and win. And I think those guys really like me as a player and as a person, so I think the bond would be unbelievable. You won't have to worry about locker room stuff, so I think it'll be pretty cool.
When you take a hungry guy who hasn't been spoon-fed, you get a different sort of work ethic, a different chip on the shoulder.
Tell us, just a few things about you, your family, most people don't really know you on this stage and how you go from being, cut in high school to the #1 player in the draft.
Yeah, so I mean, I started liking basketball at a young age, probably around 3 or 4, and it's been something I always wanted to do. And my mom just, anything that I want to do in life, as long as it was good, she'll make sure that I got it done, as long as I did what I had to. So at the age of 7, I met Keith, and he was a local trainer in the area, and he just developed the basics and just kept building them. And he saw something in me at a young age, which I appreciate, and I had to work hard in everything I did.
I noticed on Father's Day you tweeted out something about your dad. You want to share that with us?
My mom's a single mom. Growing up, I didn't really have a father in my life. Keith was that person for me, but it was just something that I tweeted that felt to me. My mom did a lot by herself, and my mom's my world. Not only her, but my sisters played a big role too. They mean the world to me. My mom has sacrificed many things for me to get the opportunity to play basketball. So, it was a tweet that felt perfect for my life, how I grew up. So really, I didn't have a father, and I still made it.
5 years out of the University of Washington, final pick of the draft, and he was the 11th leading scorer this season in the NBA.
Let's talk about your relationship with the other Isaiah, young Isaiah. I'm the old Isaiah. We were all looking forward to you possibly playing in Boston with Isaiah. Now that you learned how the NBA can change on a dime, right? You hadn't got drafted and you got traded already.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How do you feel about that emotionally?
Yeah, emotionally, my love for the game is so strong that as long as I got an opportunity to play the game, I'm happy. And Isaiah's always going to be there. He's like an older brother to me. So that part, it's not like he's going to stop texting me and start giving me advice because I'm not playing for him. But that would have been a great opportunity just to play with him, both being Huskies, and just that he's a talented player. So, we would suit each other well. But, at the end of the day, we still going to make jokes, and now we're probably going to be talking trash to each other. So
when you think of Philadelphia as a franchise, 2 names come to mind real quick. Julius Erving, Dr. J, right, and Allen Iverson. Tell me your first impressions of Allen Iverson, and is he someone that you grew up idolizing, wanting to play like, be like?
Growing up, I used to watch his crossovers. Definitely what he's known for, but growing up, I used to watch a lot of basketball, and he was definitely one of the point guards I watched. Just what he did on the court was amazing, really. I didn't really try to model my game after him, but I definitely respected his game a lot and just liked the way he played, and he was very entertaining, so I definitely tuned in a lot.
When you look at yourself coming into the league, most people judge themselves by how many points they score. What's the most important thing to you?
The most important thing?
Yeah.
I think being a great teammate is the most important thing, and then doing whatever it takes to win. If that's sitting on the bench, clapping for my teammates, if that's rebounding, if that's taking a charge, if that's scoring, if that's getting assists, that's what I want to do. The points and stuff don't matter to me unless that's what I have to do for us to win. And at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah. But you're capable of getting buckets.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you need that, I can definitely do that.
We're taking a look now at how Markelle Fultz ended up a Philadelphia 76er. Now, Sekou, I want to ask you, as you take a look at these 2 franchises and a lot that went on in the 48 hours leading up until the draft, which of these teams is better in the next 3 years?
Wow, that's tough because Boston has such a huge head start. You're talking about a Boston team that had a perfect storm of things go on. They win the #1 pick, they make the Eastern Conference Finals, and you get a star that you didn't expect to be a superstar in Isaiah Thomas come to your franchise and really change the trajectory of what you're trying to do. As beautiful as Philly's organic core is right now, it's hard to see them being ahead of Boston in a couple years or 3 years because Boston should be in the prime of what they're building right now in 3 years.
Well, coming up next, our guys are going to take a look at picks 4 through 8, breaking down the athleticism of this one in particular. We'll be right back.